Minasan, konnichiwa. I have a simple question for you today. Can anyone here raise their hand if they know their vitamin B12 level today? Anyone? What about your TSH level? This is the problem we have with our personal health today. There's no easy way to track it. And if you can't track your health, how can you manage it? This problem is dangerous because for many people, the difference in finding something wrong with you by a couple of months can mean the difference between life or death. And this is where our story begins. At Innamed, we've created a home blood testing device that with a single finger prick will tell you, 1, what all your major health information is and what it means to you. 2, how healthy or unhealthy is that health information. And 3, if there's anything about you that is unhealthy, then what can you eat or do to make yourself better or send those results to the doctor? We have a working, patented prototype today that does this. And for the first time ever, we're empowering a generation of people to understand and control their personal health. And here's how it works. First, you get a disposable chip with a disposable needle and you put it in the device. Then you prick your finger, and in 5 minutes on the device or on your phone, it'll tell you your major health information. Your health in your hands. So if you look today, a normal blood test has 150 health indicators with around 500 drops of blood. One of our main failed competitors, Theranos, tried to do the same thing with just 1 drop of blood. And many competitors are doing the same approach, but they all have one problem. None of them have the science that works because there is variation between drops of blood, meaning it is impossible to get accurate results with only 1 drop of blood. So what we do instead is that we get 8 health indicators with 6 drops of blood, making more accurate results, and we can now use a more accurate method for testing. We don't promise the world. We promise it works. So if you look at what we've accomplished to this point, we have a working prototype and we have partnerships with several international corporations. We have presented on stage at France and the United States to audiences of over 45,000, and last month our startup just won an international award. We're finalists in the future to be on national television in the United States, and we're raising $2.3 million. With that, we should be able to get past regulatory approvals in 2017. And at that point, we start selling. So when you look at our business model, we make profit off the sales of the device, but we make most of our money from the sale of each disposable chip because these are high margin, sold on a subscription basis. We make money when you find this as a valuable part of your life. I see every household in Japan using this device, the same way every household today has a scale. Because this is a $355 billion market. This market matters because this market is your friends. This market is your parents, the people you care about. I'm here today with my co-founders. There's a science person on our team, an engineer, and I'm the marketing person. I previously worked in venture capital and worked with several healthcare clients, and all of us are working on this today because we believe that personalized healthcare is not the future. It's today. Thank you.
All right, judges, questions.
Just a quick comment. You're a very good salesperson. I almost bought it, but then I started getting a little bit skeptical. So you say, okay, these guys are taking more blood samples and doing more tests and cannot find accurate results. So what's the science behind with your 8 drops of blood and actually maybe 6 drops and 8 indicators? So what's the science behind it?
That's a great question. After Theranos had its problems, a lot of scientists in the community started doing their research onto why this couldn't happen. Because a lot of teams use 1 drop of blood and you use microELISA, nanochemistry, these techniques. But fundamentally, there's variation between drops of blood. So no matter what science you use, you can't get an accurate result. So we wanted to be realistic. We interviewed over 100 doctors, several cardiologists, hematologists, and general practitioners and said, okay, you can't get everything. That's not realistic. But if you get these 8 and you do it on a weekly basis, what is the most helpful? Because these 8 that we have, if there's something wrong with these 8, in 4 months, there's 60 of them that could be wrong as well. But you catch them first at these 8. Now you say 6 drops of blood. Do you really have to stab me? So what we did is we developed a microneedle array. And with this microneedle, it's less than a regular needle, so you don't feel it, but it covers a wider surface area. It feels like Velcro, and it's one of our 4 patents that we have right now. So this is how we can do it in a realistic way that competitors haven't thought about, because we think of the entire method, the entire user experience for each person.
I have a question about your disposable card,
Yes.
which costs around maybe $20. And
Yeah.
what is your recommendation with the maybe frequency of testing?
So we talked to doctors, and they got really excited about this because they want it every day. Because we're not trying to replace what a doctor does. We're trying to complement them. We're increasing health data by orders of magnitude. With that said, our current device is kind of expensive, so it's not economically feasible to do it every day. We recommend doing it once a month and possibly once a week. With that said, if we can lower costs, which we're trying to do, hopefully we get to a point where, if you drink a lot one day and then you get hungover the next day, this can tell you the difference, right? So there's definitely daily benefits.
How many Steve Jobs presentations did you watch to prepare for this?
Thank you.
But no, it was a great presentation. Almost to the point where, like he was saying, we're skeptical. How are you going to, assuming that the science is sound, how are you going to get distribution?
So that's a great point, and we have a lot of great mentors in our Healthcare Accelerator program that help with that. So our first level of manufacturing, we want it to be local because we want to make sure that we have every part right. We want to make sure we get the science right so we're not another Theranos. So our price, I showed you really expensive prices, but that's because we want to manufacture it homegrown. And at that point, now we start partnering with distributors and working with those relationships with people overseas to get that distribution to a point where it can be mass produced. So we want to do it very small, very incrementally, and we want to get it right with a small group of people, which is what we're doing now. And if you have anyone that you'd like to connect me with afterwards to help with that, we'd love to go over it, because I was a consultant pre-MBA, so I know how to give advice, but actually executing it, I could use all the help I could get.
All right, time's up.
Thank you.